It's time for another timeline prediction. When will you receive your ITA in the current scenario? When will the cutoff score come down to 484, 481 or 470s? In this video, I'll predict draw by draw results. So let's find out. Hello and welcome to Canadian Dream. This channel is all about Canadian immigration related news and updates. In today's video, we'll try to predict the expected timeline to receive ITA in the current scenario. This is the first timeline prediction video after the recent pause. For this video, I'll be using simple mathematical calculation to predict the future of express entry in the coming months. Remember, the express entry pool is very dynamic. There are things that come our way and affect the draws. So to tackle all this, there are some assumptions I have made during my prediction calculation. Number 1. The number of new candidates remain high going forward. Number 2. The number of new candidates added to the pool with CRS 451 to 1200 will be around 3400. The number of new candidates added to the pool with CRS 491 to 1200 will be over 2700. These numbers remain constant in all the draws. Please note, my predictions are based on current trends. I'll try to update these predictions if there is any major difference seen in the draws. First, let's quickly look at the calculation method. I want you to understand the method I used, so you know how I calculated this and whether you can rely on my prediction or not. To predict the timeline, we mainly need to have these 4 pieces of information. Number 1. The pool breakdown, meaning how many candidates are in the pool. Number 2. New addition to the pool. This will tell us how many candidates might get added to the pool in the future. Number 3. Candidates expected before the draws. Number 4. Draw size. So we know how many candidates will be covered by each draw. Let's start. Number 1. The pool breakdown. We have the pool breakdown from our last video where we looked at the pool breakdown after the 18th January draw. On 18th January 2023, 5,500 invitations were sent out and the cutoff score was 490. There were no candidates in the 600 plus years range after the draw. Also, there were no candidates in the 501 to 600 range. 416 candidates were in the 491 to 500 range. 11,848 candidates in the 481 to 490 range. 20,106 candidates in the 471 to 480 range. 16,854 candidates in the 461 to 470 range. 13,104 candidates in the 451 to 460 range. There were a total of 62,328 candidates in the 451 to 1200 series range after the draw. We have got the first piece of information we needed for our calculation. Let's move to the second. Number 2. New addition to the pool. Now we need to find how many candidates might get added to the pool as we move forward. This is the most important part of timeline calculation. If we can get it correct, then our timeline will have higher accuracy. So let's spend some time on this. Prior to the pause, the data looked like this. In the range of 601 to 1200, we witnessed an average of 636 new candidates before every draw. 1,077 in the 501 to 600 range. 493 in the 491 to 500 range. 184 in the 481 to 490 range. 95 in the 471 to 480 range. 14 in the 461 to 470 range and 6 in the 451 to 460 range. So in the range of 451 to 1200 we saw 2,505 candidates, and between 491 and 1200, 2,206 candidates were added to the pool before every draw. These are the average of new addition. We cannot be relying on these numbers as we saw an upward trend as we moved forward. So let's find the average of the last 4 draws before the pause. This would give a better picture. In the range of 601 to 1200, we witnessed an average of 799 new candidates before every draw. 1,254 in the 501 to 600 range, 887 in the 491 to 500 range, 236 in the 481 to 490 range, 86 in the 471 to 480 range, minus 10 in the 461 to 470 range, and 2 in the 451 to 460 range. So in the range of 451 to 1200 we saw 3,254 candidates, and between 491 to 1200, 2,940 candidates were added to the pool before every draw. Just notice the jump in numbers. Now, let's check how the numbers are after the pause. This will help us decide on the number of new addition for the prediction. After the pause, in the range of 601 to 1200, we witnessed an average of 795 new candidates before every draw, 967 in the 501 to 600 range, 652 in the 491 to 500 range, 288 in the 481 to 490 range, 134 in the 471 to 480 range, 73 in the 461 to 470 range, and 57 in the 451 to 460 range. So in the range of 451 to 1200 we saw 2965 candidates, and between 491 to 1200, 2441 candidates were added to the pool before every draw. It's good to see the numbers dropping after the pause. Now we have to make up our mind on which numbers to choose. Let's use the latest data we have. So we have the second piece of information we needed. Let's move to the third. Number 3. Candidates expected before the draw. To find this, we just need to simply add the first two pieces of information. Number 4. Draw size. It's time to find the draw size. Before the pause, we saw a peak of 4,750, but after the pause, IRCC increased the draw size to 5,500, and most likely to compensate for the missed draws. IRCC also conducted a bonus draw for the compensation. Now that we are back on the bi-weekly routine of draws, will IRCC go back to its pre-pause peak of 4,750, or will it conduct a few more draws with 5,500? I think there will be at least one more draw with 5,500, and then the draw size may go down. To be on the safe side, I will use 5,000 in my calculations after the next draw. So now we have all the information we need. Let's put the numbers into action. The math is simple. Find the number of candidates after the draw, estimate the number of new candidates that could be added, add them to find the candidates before the draw, deduct the candidates when a draw is conducted, repeat. So let's start with the next draw, which is expected on the 1st of February. From the pool breakdown, we know there are no candidates in the 600 plus range after the draw. Also, there are no candidates in the 501 to 600 series range. 416 candidates are left in the 491 to 500 series range. I'm expecting 795 candidates in the 601 to 1200 range, 967 in the 501 to 600 range, 652 in the 491 to 500 range, 288 in the 481 to 490 range. So right before the draw, there will be 795 candidates in the 601 to 1200 range, 967 in the 501 to 600 range, 1068 in the 491 to 500 range, a total of 2830 candidates over CRS 490, and 12,136 in the 481 to 490 range. Draw issues 5,500 ITAs, taking out all candidates over 490 and leaving 2,670 ITAs for 481 to 490 range, 2,670 ITAs for 12,136 candidates. If we assume numeric distribution, then the cutoff score should come down to 488. The next draw is expected on the 15th of February. After the last draw, there are no candidates over CRS 490, and in the 481 to 490 range, there are 9,466 candidates left. Expecting the same numbers to add up, as per our new candidate calculation, we are expecting a total of 2,702 candidates above 480. Moving forward, let's round it to 2,700 to make our calculation easier. So right before the draw, there will be 795 candidates in the 601 to 1200 range, 967 in the 501 to 600 range, 652 in the 491 to 500 range, a total of 2,414 candidates over CRS 490, and 9,754 in the 481 to 490 range. Draw issues 5,000 ITAs, taking out all candidates over CRS 490, leaving only 3,086 ITAs for the 481 to 490 range. This will take the cutoff score slightly down. The cutoff score will possibly be 486. The next draw is expected on the 1st of March. After the last draw, there are no candidates above CRS 490, and in the 481 to 490 range, there are 6,668 candidates left. Expecting 2,700 candidates to join the pool. So right before the draw, there will be a total of 2,414 candidates over CS 490 and 6,956 in the 481 to 490. Draw issues 5,000 ITS, taking out all candidates above CS 490, leaving 3,086 ITS for the 481 to 490 range. The cutoff score will possibly be 485. The next draw is expected on the 15th of March. After the last draw, there are no candidates above CS 490, and in the 481 to 490 range, there are 3,870 candidates left, expecting 2,700 candidates to join the pool. So right before the draw, there will be a total of 2,414 candidates over CS 490 and 4,158 in the 481 to 490 range. Draw issues 5,000 ITAs, taking out all candidates above CS 490, leaving 3,086 ITAs for the 481 to 490 range. The cutoff score will possibly be 483. The next draw is expected on the 29th of March. As per IRCC, Bill C-19 will be introduced by spring. Spring ranges from end of March to June, so this could be the first draw after Bill C-19. We really don't know the fate from here. However, in this timeline prediction, I'm assuming Bill C-19 will come towards the end of spring. After the last draw, there are no candidates above CS 490, and in the 481 to 490 range, there are 1,072 candidates left, expecting 2,700 candidates to join the pool. So right before the draw, there will be a total of 2,414 candidates over CS 490 and 1,360 in the 481 to 490 range. Draw issues 5,000 ITAs, taking out all candidates above CS 490, leaving 3,086 ITAs for the 481 to 490 range. As there are more ITAs than the remaining candidates in the 481 to 490 range, the cutoff score will move to the 471 to 480 range. After taking out the 1,360 candidates in the 481 to 490 range, there are 1,726 ITAs left for the 471 to 480 range. There are 20,776 candidates in this range, hence 1,726 ITAs will only take the cutoff score to 480. The next draw is expected on the 12th of April. After the last draw, there are no candidates above CS 480, and in the 471 to 480 range, there are 19,050 candidates left, expecting 2,700 candidates to join the pool above CS 480. So right before the draw, there will be a total of 2,700 candidates over CS 480 and 19,184 in the 471 to 480 range. Draw issues 5,000 ITAs, taking out all candidates above CS 480, leaving 2,798 ITAs for the 471 to 480 range. The cutoff score will possibly be 479. The next draw is expected on the 26th of April. If we continue at the same rate, the cutoff score will possibly be 478. The next draw is expected on 10th of May, and at the same rate, cutoff score will possibly be 477. After that, the next draw is expected on 24th of May, and the possible cutoff score is 476. After that, the next draw is expected on 7th of June, where the possible cutoff score is 475. And the last draw that could happen before Bill C-19 is implemented is expected on 21st of June, and the possible cutoff score is 474. That's the end of timeline prediction. Before you end the video, let me quickly share the factors that can delay or shorten your waiting period. Factors that can delay the waiting period. Number 1, if more people are added to the pool compared to our prediction. Number 2, if draw size is smaller than 5,000. Number 3, if draws are not conducted regularly. Factors that can shorten the waiting period. Number 1, if fewer people are added to the pool compared to our prediction. Number 2, if the draw size is bigger than 5,000. Number 3, if draws are conducted regularly. Last but not the least, a lot will depend on Bill C-19 and how things roll out after it is implemented. To learn more about it, watch my video on the topic, link in the description. So, when are you expecting your ITA? Do you agree with my assumptions and my calculation method? Let me know in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you liked it or if you have any problem understanding my analysis. Your feedback can help me make better videos for you. To get regular updates on Express Entry, do subscribe and click on the bell icon. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm also available on TikTok right now. You can follow me there as well. I try to share regular updates on my socials. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.